In the following tutorial, I am going to teach you how to set up panic events, and they're relatively simple to set up. There's a few output nodes that you have to set up. The idea that I have is I want a panic event to happen when this door opens, an alarm sounds, and then the infected come rushing in. So anytime any of the survivors or I walk through this door, an emergency alarm will sound and I'll be swarmed. First thing is that we have our info director. I want to name the director. So in the name property, I named it as director. And going back to my door, I want to double click on the door and I want to name the door. So I'm going to name my door as door 1. Click apply. And I want to also insert a ambient generic, which is a sound which will create an emergency door sound alarm. So go to your entities and here type in ambient generic, and we're going to position it right here in front of the door. I'm going to double click on it and I'm going to name this as well. I'm going to name it as door alarm 1. Click apply. And here you have a few properties that you can mess around with. You can set volume, start volume, fade in, fade out. Another thing you want to pay attention to is the sound name. So this is what the sound will be when it's activated. So click on browse, and in the filter you can type in alarm. And here I'm going to choose emergency alarm loop. Double click. You can play it, you can test it out. I'm going to click apply. So now going to our door, I'm going to go to my outputs and I'm going to create 2 outputs. So on the first one, my output name is I want to set it to on open. So when the door opens, I want something to happen. And in target entities named, what do I want to happen? I want my door alarm, which was the sound generic that we just inserted. I want my door alarm 1 to do what? And via this input, I want play sound. It's very simple to set up outputs and inputs. You just have to know what you're going. You have to know the final result that you're after, and then everything in between becomes relatively simple to set up. So I'm going to click apply here. So now, if I jump in the game and I open the door, the alarm will sound. Now there is a few problems with that. Is one, we don't have nothing happening when the alarm sounds, and 2, the alarm will just sound without stopping, which is extremely annoying. So I want to go back into the door again and go into my outputs. I want to create another one, and on this I want to set my output name to on open again. My target entities named is director, and what do I want to happen when the director is activated when the door is open? I want to set it to panic event. Click apply. So now when the door opens, alarm will sound and it'll generate a panic event. So the final thing for this particular doorway is I want to insert an entity called logic timer. And what a logic timer does, it can stop, start, and delay certain events. So in our case, what the logic timer will do for us, it will stop the annoying alarm sound. So go to your entity and type in logic timer. Insert. So double click on the logic timer and I want to name it. Here I'm going to name it logic timer 1. And in outputs, I'm going to add a new output, and the new output is going to be my output named on timer, So on the timer I want a certain target entity. So target entity is door alarm 1, and via this input I want my door alarm to stop sound. And after delay in seconds, so after we have our sound activated, the logic timer can stop sound right away, or it can have a delay. So in our case I want it to go nuts for 10 seconds. I'm going to click apply and save, and then I'm going to jump in the map and see how that works. So now inside the game, let's test it out. And we can see that the panic command is working and we're getting bum rushed. So it works. So let me exit this out. So setting up panic event is a relatively simple thing to do. I just showed you one way to do it with a door, but you can do it with pretty much anything you want. You can set up invisible triggers, so every time a character walks through a certain area, you can trigger a panic event. You can set up panic events through, if you want to destroy let's say you want to destroy a specific window, so you can set it up to where when the window breaks, panic event happens. You can also set a way where if we have a breakable wall and we destroyed it, it sets a panic event. So the opportunities and the possibilities of setting different panic events are pretty much limitless. So hope you learned a lot from this and set up some panic events. Good luck.